So who is running out of space already for all of their seeds? Yep, that's me. So in today's video, I'm going to show you what I am starting indoors from seeds. It's a bit of an experiment this year, trying a lot of new things, a lot of new techniques, and just, you know, being bold and adventurous. And I am going to try to give you as much information as I can when it comes to dates, how I started the seeds, what I did different than others. But if you do have any questions, just let me know in the comments. So let's start by the first shelf. Back there, I have marigolds starting. I have half of a tray with them. I just started them a few days ago, so there is nothing going on. And right here in the front, I have two types of snapdragons. Nothing happening yet. I don't expect anything until a few days from now. But the peppers here, I mean, they are loving. They're really loving this spot right here. All of the peppers that I have, I got them from Baker's Creek, and I am not kidding you when I'm telling you that I have 100% germination on them. These are mostly hot peppers, you guys, and what I noticed is that some of them grow bigger and faster than others. Like, look at this. Like, look at this poblano next to this lemon drop. And they're getting ready for me to pinch them, and I'll probably do that this week. But I started these peppers, I believe January 29th. Yes, I got the date right there. And I potted them up or divided them, and a couple of weeks later. And basically what I did, I started 3 seeds in each container. I started them in these Dixie cups, and I had 100% germination. They're doing amazing. And a couple of weeks later, they went into their own little Dixie cup on their own. And what I noticed is that they do like the warm. I keep this room very warm, and they just love that. They really do very well. On the next tray down, this is sort of like a last minute planting. My mom and my dad called me. My mom wanted some cherry tomatoes, which I don't grow. I personally don't use them a lot, don't like them a lot, but she does, and she asked me to get a few plants for her. So I went to the store and got these packages, and they're coming along very well. I'm actually going to have, the idea is just to have 3 of each, and as you can tell here, I have like 4 of them. They're coming up, so I'm going to have to thin them soon so that just one plant stays there. And this tomato right here, it was I misplaced the package, so I found it way later after I started the tomatoes already. And yeah, look at all of that. It's funny because I only have 2 seeds per container, and look, I have 4 of them coming up there, and I have 3 of them right there. So I am loving Baker's Creek this year. And back there, that was my dad's request. He wanted chilled bean peppers, a lot of them, so I started way more. So that's going mostly for them. And next, I have coleus right there. They're all coleus, and I just planted those a few days ago. There is nothing going on, so not much to say. Basil, oh my goodness, I started this. I don't know why I didn't start it early. This is not the basil that I will have in my garden because it's too early for that, but I thought, why not just have some basil coming for me to use indoors? They're sprouting, and this type of basil is supposed to be really good and big. I like big leaves to use. These two peppers here, these are an experiment. You can let me move this away. You can see that I did mystery peppers. Buttery smell, they're red. Are they a habanero? Who knows? My husband about 3 years ago did a bunch of pepper plants. He was the one doing the seeds and all of that. I did it until this year. He started these peppers about 3 years ago, and there were a couple that we really like, and they were spicy, yes. So 3 years ago he dehydrated them and he kept them in jars, right? And we haven't actually used a lot of them. And with that, hey, we don't really know the name of these. We don't know if these are the ones that we like. But what we did was we soaked all the peppers with some of the seeds that we saw in them, and we soaked those overnight and we planted them. We don't know if seeds that were dehydrated and soaked from 3 years ago will be doable, but look at that. I have one at least coming up there, and obviously they're taking their time because these were about 2 weeks ago. They were planted 2 weeks ago. So far I have one, and I'm happy about that. If I get at least one of each, that would be awesome. But I don't know, like I said, this is just an experiment. We had the space, we had soil, we had the lights. I mean, sure. And these tomatoes here are coming along well. These are German pink and Hungarian heart. And these I ordered late. I planted tomatoes and I realized that I didn't have these, so I ordered them. They came, and that's why they're smaller than the other tomatoes that I'm going to show you soon. So moving from that, I have flowers on this side. These are hollyhocks that I started on the 14th of February, I believe. And like I said, I have very great germination rates from Baker's Creek so far, and I am very happy with them. What I did this morning, actually, I came in, I thinned the other two plants that were there extra. It always breaks my heart to do that, but it's necessary. I cannot have 3 plants here, and I know that they don't like to be, the roots don't like to be transplanted or messed with that much. So I'm just gonna keep it safe, and I'm going to keep them nicely and tight there. And right here, these two are Shasta daisies. Look at that. They are coming along beautifully, you guys. On this next one, I have a tray of asters. I really loving how they're looking. And alyssum, I have 3 trays, 1, 2, 3 small trays of alyssum. And I was not supposed to be starting alyssum this early. That they were starting on the 15th of February, but I accidentally got the seed package wet, and I was freaking out. I thought, what if I try them and then they get messed up? I don't know. So I decided I'll just put them in trays, call it good. If they work, they work. They might be too early because I think that they flower really quick, but look at that. So next, you guys, are my tomatoes. This is what I'm most excited about, the tomatoes. Look at that. So these tomatoes were started in peat pellets, and if you're not familiar with them, I think that they're not bad. If you're not familiar with them, you basically get these dry discs, and what you do is you add water and they expand, they absorb all that water, and they already come in their like little pre-packaged little package of soil and you put the seeds in it, boom, they're supposed to be really easy. And when the seedlings are growing in there, you just move that whole thing inside a bigger container or straight into your garden. Not a big deal. What I read after I had started the tomatoes in those peat pellets was that sometimes the fabric that goes around those little pellets do not decompose right away. That takes a few years for them to get mixed into your soil. So I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to keep anything there for a long period of time. So what I did was that as soon as I saw a little bit of roots coming from those seedlings, the tomato seedlings, I removed that fabric and then I moved them into their own little Dixie cups, and they are doing amazing. Just like the pepper plants, they have different growth rates. Like this Cherokee purple and this big rainbow are different. I mean, they were started the same, they were given the same amount of water, but you can tell they're loving this spot right here. Some of these tomatoes I know I have tried before in my garden, and some of them are new, and I'm very, very excited. This year is definitely going to be a year where I'm going to try a lot of things and I'm going to keep my favorite. So the next year, instead of having 15 different varieties of tomatoes, I might only get like 5, and who knows. And I gotta tell you, I am very thankful that I found Gary from the Rusted Garden on YouTube. He has amazing tips for growing vegetables and having starting things in your garden as a beginner, and I am very thankful for him. I'm going to link to his YouTube below so that if you don't know who he is, go check him out, subscribe to him, and you'll just love him. So the next tray down, let's go to this side. I have onions, and I've never had onions in my garden, so this year is going to be new. And I also have never started onions from seeds. And what I'm doing is that I have 2 different techniques this year for onions. One is try them thick in the beginning, get the roots going, and once they're ready to go in the garden, you're just going to separate them. I think that's what most people do. They plant them thick and they separate them when it's time to go in the garden. But also, I have this small 6 tray container where I have a few of them in there, and the idea is to keep those bunches together and keep them like this together until they go in the garden. They're going to go in the garden together. And I like to get what I call them cebollitas, which is like very, very small onions. So they're onions that they're not fully grown, they're small, they're great for grilling. So I saw this guy in England do this, and I think that he loves it. He does the same thing. So I think that I'm going to try that, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, before we move those, let me show you those cannas right there, you guys. My Instagram friend, and I call him Instagram friend because I never met him personally. His name is Brad. He has this YouTube channel, Garden Evolution, which I'm going to link below. Go ahead and check him out. He sent me a bunch of seeds at the beginning of this year, and one of them was Canna seeds. And you guys, I am very, very happy with the seeds that I got from him. And look at that. I mean, these things are massive. I started them in Dixie cups, and it was funny because I got a bunch of seeds from him, Canna seeds, and I read that Canna seeds, you're supposed to file them first and soak them for a few days because the coating on the seed is really, really hard. And my goodness, I had the hardest time trying to file those, trying to make a little dent in there for the water to be absorbed through it. And I only did 5 of them, 5 seeds. I thought I don't need that many cannas in my life. But when I got to number 5, to seed number 5, I kind of quit. I kind of did it halfway, and it showed because it never germinated. But the 4 canna seeds that I had, I soaked them for about 4 days, and once I saw that the roots or the germination was going on, then I put them in Dixie cups, and man, they love it here. They love water, they love the heat, and they definitely are in the perfect spot for them to grow. They're doing really well, and I'm always amazed at how fast and how strong they're going, and I am loving it. Thank you so much, Red, for those seeds. Let me put these back here. Now let me show you my herbs. I have thyme, rosemary, and chives. They're going. The chives are doing amazing. No problems there. I think that I might give them a little trim, maybe. I don't know if they're the same like onions that you cut them and then you know, to stimulate the roots. I don't know about that yet. I have to do some research. But the rosemary here, they what I didn't know about rosemary is that you have to put the seeds through a period of cold. Basically, you take the seeds and you put them in the fridge for a few days before you try to germinate them. And I didn't do that. It was my fault because I didn't know. I maybe missed that part, and they took forever to germinate. And I got 2 seeds on each little packet there, and they're struggling, and they have been there for about a month now, so we'll see about that one. But the thyme there, it's looking amazing, you guys. I started them in small 6-tray containers, starting them thick as well, and then I transplanted them right away after I saw that the roots were in need of a bigger home. So once they get going in these containers, I might have to divide them, which is okay. Again, I learned this from Gary. He starts a lot of seeds in one container, then divides them as needed. So they're doing really well in this spot here. So I am very excited. So as we move from that, these right here are Dahlia tubers, you guys. I never had dahlias in my garden. I actually saw a bunch of videos from Erin of the Impatient Gardener on YouTube, and I also follow her on Instagram. She has a bunch of tips and techniques on how to plant them, how to divide them, and she's amazing on that. But I recently saw or found somebody on Instagram. She has her account under what is it? Clover Gold Flower Farm. I'm going to put it on the screen because I have to double check that. And I honestly love her, you guys, because she's one of those people that will like show you step by step. This is what you do. This is what you don't want to do. And she has a lot of information when it comes to growing flowers. And I absolutely love that. I am copying one of her things, that is she wakes up her Dahlia tubers early in order to get cuttings from it, and she showed how to do this on her Instagram, and I am very excited about that. Dahlia tubers are very expensive in my opinion, so anything that I can do to get more, I'm all about it. So now let me show you the last of what I'm starting from seed. These right here are sweet peas. I have those little, I call them fan lights. They really don't do anything fan related. It's just the shape of a fan. I really like them. Again, from Gary, I got that review from him about those lights, and they're perfect for my overgrown sweet peas. Two things that I noticed from them: they do love where they are. I keep this room very, very warm and cozy. The package that I got, I don't know if you can tell, it says to start them 10 to 12 weeks before the last frost. I honestly do not think that starting them 10 to 12 weeks before my last frost is ideal. I don't know if the conditions that I have them in are really just perfect or way too perfect, that they're just loving it and growing fast, because I think that they're ready, you guys. I honestly think they're ready to go out. I mean, the roots are looking amazing. I honestly think that they're going to be needed to be potted up before they're ready to go out. So I think that if I keep the same conditions next year, instead of starting them at the end of January, I'm going to have to start them like the middle of March. So I don't know yet. I'm going to wait and see, obviously. Maybe the roots just need to mature more. I don't know. I'm new to them. So if you have any tips for them, let me know. What I did do a couple of weeks ago is that I pinched the tops. And even the other day, I pinched the new growth, you know, like the side shoots like they're starting to come out. I had to pinch those as well because they were a good 3 or 4 inches longer than that. So I'm very happy about the sweet peas. I have no complaints, other than maybe I have to cut the time in half of when I started them in the beginning. So very excited about that. So that's about it, you guys. This is what I am starting from seed. I am very excited about it. I am very excited about all the growth that I have so far. I could use another shelving unit because there are so many things. Once you start buying seeds, you know, and you get your things going, you're like, oh, and I can start this. Oh, and I can start that. Oh, and you know, you, especially if you follow a lot of people on YouTube or on Instagram, you know, they show you, oh, this is what I'm starting this week, and you're like, oh yeah, I could use some of that. And honestly, I could just go on and have 2 or 3 shelving units and not be satisfied. But that's what I have. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. I hope that this video helped you and inspiring you in any way. That's it, guys. Until next time. Ciao.